First question is, what's the link between fighting against poverty and climate change?
Well, I think it's very direct link, because climate change influences the most poorest countries, most poorest people in a more stronger way. Let's take sub-Saharan Africa. It's a drought, so it's already now is a lacking of the water. Yields are low, and as a result, with climate change, yield will be even lower. But the birth rates are high, so the people will have, if they not be starving, then the hunger will be there permanent. If I see, for example, Pacific Islands, then a lot of them are in risk of disappearing. So basically, there's this very clear link that climate change will first of all affect the most poorest people. And second is that climate change, if you address in a sustainable way, then you can also have good growth possibilities. So basically you can bypass some of the stages in our daily development and make a very good leap towards a sustainable future. So it is also an opportunity. It shouldn't be seen that dealing with climate change is always only trouble. No, but it also gives opportunity to apply new technology that does not consume so much electricity, for example. And as a result, you gain step change.
And what role can renewable energy play in the fight against poverty and climate change?
Well, if we see rural communities in particular, education is limited because there is no electricity. Healthcare is limited. You can provide some basic healthcare, but for a lot of manipulation on a lot of supports, you need electricity. So that means energy is an engine of growth, engine for health, engine for also for education. So it means without energy, powered education is not possible. And at the same time, rural areas are cut off from the grids. To build the grid is extremely expensive, nobody will come. So the only way really to provide for the future for these people is renewable energy.
And gives Eurosolar a new opportunity for developing countries for facing the future?
It is. Let's take this Eurosolar program with Latin America. 8 countries, 6,000 isolated communities. For example, communities that is high in the mountain, more than 4,000 meters high. How you get the grids there? And with Eurosolar, you provide electricity. Kids could use even computers at school, the healthcare facility improved. So 300,000 people got supply to decent lifestyle through this project that costed, the overall cost have been only 35 million euro. So it's a small project, and for 300,000 people, the life has changed completely. I still, perhaps most of the Europeans don't remember how to live with electricity. When I was a schoolboy, I lived on the countryside by my mother, and there was no electricity. I still remember the day when electricity came, because before we carried water for kilometers on our backs. And the moment electricity was there, water came itself from the lake. As a result, we could get much better productivity in our farm. So it's a complete change. It's hardly we can imagine what a change electricity supply brings to the life.
How do you assess the activities of Eurosolar program in this context?
I think it's a good example because by itself it's a huge program. It involves 8 countries. So it means that we also build a know-how of regional cooperation, and also we build our technological knowledge. So that means that the same model could be applied or in Asia or in Africa. So it means it gives us knowledge. And also with our project we supplied 300,000 people. But still a lot of people also in Latin America still don't have electricity supply. So we can multiply this knowledge from the project. So I think it is a project good, first of all, that addresses right thing at right time. But second, it also provides enough knowledge what next step to do for supply of renewable energy.
Eurosolar is in its final phase. How is the replication of the Eurosolar concept coming along?
Well, we have with ACP countries programs. More and more we focus on energy. We have also now published thinking about development, and particular focus on renewable energy. Because even in there with Eurosolar that we provided, it's rather small capacity. So if I would see from industrial production, it's not sufficient. So that basically we need to try to, first of all, to think how we really strengthen this project. But second, I believe it's very important that we come to, well, finalization before Cancun. Because that's again, Cancun is a big deal, and you can achieve sustainable growth, fight climate change, and promote growth. So it gives a lot of encouragement for countries to go very ambitiously fight against climate change. Because if we are late, so then we will have more and more money we need to be spent for mitigation. Now we can really do good projects, and the costs overall for mankind could be limited. As later we will start, as more challenges we will have. So it's good encouragement for Cancun to move our fight against climate change much more further, and at the end of the day to conclude binding agreement for cutting off greenhouse gases. I think everybody will gain if we will have such a type of agreement. Who is fighting against? The ones that really have vested interest, that they believe, well, that oil supply is forever, gas supply is forever, and there will be no impact of climate change. And it is very short-term thinking. We need to think in the, well, terms of next generations. And that means for me, it means for my children and grandchildren, but for young people it's quite obvious. And I believe all the youth really should be very strong, demonstrating that we can't delay binding agreement.
Could we consider this project as one of those tools with what the European Union can show the world what's its philosophy of sustainable development?
I think we can, because it's not small. 300,000 people in 600 municipalities. Well, it's impressive, I would say, 8 countries. So it's an impressive project. And, well, the cost perhaps not astronomical, 35 million euros for overall EU aid of 50 billion. It definitely demonstrates that we can do much more if we really focus on renewable energy. So I think it's a good trademark for EU, because I believe EU trademarks should be established. And one of the biggest trademarks should be clean supply of energy. That, I think, is EU trademark. We learned a lot, we follow this approach, and we really need to also to demonstrate in our development cooperation policies.